Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my contest winner, Stefan's new Elemental Runemaster Spooner build, which is so much fun to play. I had so much fun testing out this build, I decided to turn it into its own build guide. As always, we will cover every single facet of Stefan's build. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. Now, the skills we're using for this spooner are Flame Rush, Frost Wall, Flame Ward, Runic Invocation, and Runebolt. But we're going to be triggering Flame Ward through our Frost Wall, so we're actually going to change this to Glyph of Dominion. This is going to help us with triggering our bonuses on brand, and it is going to allow us to shoot more bolts with our Runebolt, and it's a free skill, which is great. So let's take this for a spin. Now, obviously, we are using the Mad Alchemist Ladle for this build, which is something that only drops from the Exiled Mage. And it is a very, very fun item because it's going to be putting all kinds of stuff on the enemies. And you can see that from looking at the enemies bar up top. Look at how many different ailments is on them. You are dead. Yeah, I gotta say, Stefan did a good job on this build, the explaining it and the breakdown. I think it is really fun to play. And we had 27 submissions, and there were a couple of good ones in here, but playing some of them, I thought this one was the best. And it was a little different too, because for this build, you are using Runic Energy. So you have a chance at double cast. Also, he reversed the order on Runebolt, so you get a lot of different invocations that you normally don't see. There was a lot of thought behind it, and he explained it very well, which was great. And as you can see too, it obviously functions in Endgame as well, which makes it even more fun. And I just like being able to see all the different invocations going off. Case in point right there. Our little helicopter. And after this, we will fight a Shade of Orbis, so you can see some single target damage right now. This is the first time ever on my channel I am showcasing someone else's build. And I tried to leave it alone. Just little tweaks here and there, but for the most part, it is 99% his. And Mr. Shade of Orbis, you, sir, are dead. Let me show you how to recreate this build. So now let's check out the skills, starting with our first skill, Flame Ward. And what you want to do is follow me in the order, because this is how you want to take it. You want 2 into Stalwart Defense, 5 into Barrier, 3 into Prismatic Buffer. This is going to give you a lot of damage reduction right here. Then you want to come down, 3 into Dilation. Then you want to go up, 1 into Desperate Defense, 3 into Fueled Flames. Then you want to come down, 2 into Energize, 2 into Recollection. This is going to be triggering all the time as you go through your Frost Wall. Moving over to Frost Wall, you want to go down into the left first, 4 into Crystal Protection, 3 into Kickoff, 1 into Prepared Wards. Then you want to come down, 2 into Marching Winter, 1 into Pyroglass, 1 into Brand the Invaders. And this is where you're going to get your fire brand from your fire wall. You then want to come to the left, 1 into Purifying Gate, 3 into Arrival, and then your final points, 5 into the Dark Cold, 1 into Protection, and 1 into Shelter. Get it, got it, good. Moving over to your spam skill, Runebolt. And this one, everything on here is really good. So you can kind of pick, if you're looking for mana, go down first. If you're looking for damage, go right first. So I'm going to take you to the right. 2 into Overcharge, 1 into Bolt, 3 into Attuned Recovery, 1 into Amplified Cascade. Then you want to come down, 5 into Punch Through Metal, 1 into Devastator, 1 into Wrecking Ball, 2 into Arcane Restoration, 3 into Rune Weaver, and 1 into Dissolve the Conqueror. Now I asked him, I was like, why did you not in the passive tree take the Frostbite for Armor Shred? And this is why. You want as much Armor Shred as possible because that's going to turn into elemental damage per stack of Armor Shred. And we have 100% Armor Shred on here. You will see this in the passive tree. 2 into Orderly Conduit and 1 into Torrent of the Evocation. And this is what reverses the order, which gives you a lot of very, very cool invocations. And this is how Stefan explained it to me, is the best ones and the coolest ones come in the reversed order. I was like, oh, that is pretty clever. Moving over to Flame Rush. You want to come down first. 2 into Fury Overload, 1 into Epi, 3 into Lunar Protection, 1 into Energize, 1 into Snowballing, and 1 into Branding Cold. Now remember, your Frost Wall is going to give you your Firebrand, and your Flame Rush is going to give you your Cold Brand. All right. You then want to come up, 3 into Blazing Flux, 3 into Runic Eclipse, 3 into Guidance, and then your last 3 points right here into Solar Rush. Last but not least, Runic Invocation. And right now we have 26 points into this skill. It's a lot of points. All right, this is what you want to do first, is we're actually going to take all of the runic energy last. We're going to get all the core Runic Invocation stuff first. So what that means is we're actually going to go up into the right first. We're going to take 2 into Unbridled Ruin, 1 into Devastating Starfall, 2 into Cosmic Mind. Then we're going to come to the left and just go right around. 1 into Elemental Lore, 1 into Attuned Approach, 1 into Inscribed Patterns, 1 into Arcania, 2 into Rune Scribing, and 1 into Consolidator. I can read. Then come to the left, 5 into Runic Energy, 1 into Spell Cascade, 1 into Runic Energizer, 4 into Copied Scrolls, 1 into Battery, and 1 into Rune Power Core. Now this is going to give you a damage boost to your invocations, and it is going to allow you to double cast them when it triggers. Again, very different, very, very cool. Those are the skills. Moving over to the passives for our Spoonmaster, and I'm currently level 99 with all the passives from the campaign. We want 8 into Elementalist, 2 into Arcanist, 5 into Mage Flurry, and 5 into Knowledge of Destruction. Nothing in Spellblade. Moving over to Runemaster, 1 into Unsealed Mana, 8 into Sphere Protection, 7 into Triumph, 8 into Arcane Focus, 5 into Neverlate, 3 into Rune of Dilation, 3 into Circle of Elements, and 6 into Freezing Point. Hard stop right here. Now, when I first was looking through this and talking with Stefan about it, he was saying basically you don't want 7 points here because you don't want your Frostbite chance turned in, or you don't want your Armor Shred turned into Frostbite, because then that gets rid of the scaling you get with Runebolt, which is what I showed you. But we do want the damage over time. That's why 6 points here. Again, this is a branded build. We are getting our Firebrand, our Cold Brand, and then from Glyph of Dominion on our skill bar that is non-spec, you are also getting your Lightning Brand. So 5 into Branded Deception, 5 into Imposition, 8 into Inscriptions, and then since it's an elemental build, we are getting all the rune words: Avalanche, Hurricane, and Inferno. 10 points into Doom, 4 points into Jagged Veil, and then moving over to Source, we have 5 into Calculated Destruction, 5 into Momentum, and 6 into Essence. Those are the passives. Moving over to everyone's favorite gear, starting with idols. Now, I had none of the idols that Stefan has recommended for this build. Check out the Advanced Build Planner to see exactly what he built out. But ultimately, what you want to see from an idol perspective is getting your resistances capped, getting ward retention, and getting mana spent gained as ward. So those are the 3 big affixes that he recommends. Now, moving over to gear. Obviously, this is a Spoonmaster build, and that is because we are using the new Mad Alchemist ladle. And I do have one that has a tier 6 increased cast speed moved over to it, which is really great. And this is a really good rolled Mad Alchemist ladle. They have an 8 to 48% roll range, and for mine, all of them are 34 or higher, with 2 of them in the 40s. This is just really good luck on my Mad Alchemist ladle. Now, the other uniques that we are using is Unstable Core, because this is going to give you +3 to any elemental skills, which is your Runic Invocation. And then you are also using Frostbite Shackles, because this is going to add a lot of damage over time with your Frostbite on hit. So these are the 3 uniques that we are using. The only one that is required is the Mad Alchemist ladle. And I have honestly found maybe 20 of these. Not overly hard to find. Just do not skip your exiled mage when you are running through the monolith. Okay, let's go one item at a time. Helmet. Amulet. Catalyst. Ring. Belt. Ring. Boots. And relic. That is the gear. Now let's check out the character sheets. So I am currently level 99. For intelligence, I have 57 points. Movement speed 34. Under resistances, fire, lightning, cold, physical, poison, and void all look really good. Just need a little bit of work on our necrotic resistance. Ward retention is at 371, approaching that 400 mark, which I like. And looking at our damages, increased lightning, cold, and fire, we're at 589, 460, and 718. Other defenses right now, endurance is at 44 with endurance threshold at 366, and critical strike avoidance is almost at 100 at 98. Not too bad for just taking the gear I had available in my chest for Stefan's build and getting it on. Overall, we are decently tanky. I'm not saying we could take a ton of hits, but overall feeling pretty good. Now let's talk sustain. Aaron, this is great. How do I stay alive? Well, we're going to start with our skills. Now, like I mentioned during Flame Ward, you have tons of damage reduction and ward generated with ward retention inside of Flame Ward, and this is going to be triggering all the time. This one skill is going to give you so much survivability. On top of that, you also have Frost Wall, which is going to cleanse ailments, and this is also going to give you some ward when enemies pass through it. Inside of Flame Rush, you also on here have less damage taken, so you have more damage reduction inside of Flame Rush. So Flame Rush you're going to be using all the time to actually travel through your Frost Wall, which is going to give you cleansing ailments and ward and trigger Flame Rush. Pretty tanky just through those skills. Now moving over to the passives, we are taking Sphere of Protection as well, which is even further damage reduction, and we have 8 points into Arcane Focus. Now this skill alone, because you shoot so fast, you're going to get 40 ward per cast. That's why if you go back and look at the gameplay portion, I'm going to be generating about 2,000 ward without even using Twisted Heart. And if I wanted to take Twisted Heart, it would push the ward generation closer to the 6,000 to 8,000 if you wanted to go that route. On top of that, if you are using Frostbite Shackles, 1% ward retention per 1% uncapped cold resistance. Right now, I don't have capped cold resistance, but you would like to see this around the 150, even the 200% mark on cold resistance, which again would push your ward retention closer to that 500 mark if you are using Frostbite Shackles. So keep that in mind as well. Overall, geared correctly, Runemaster is pretty tanky. Last but not least, let's talk leveling. Aaron, this is great. How do I get it from level 1 to what I see on screen? Another good question. There are 3 skills you want, and I've actually changed up my leveling recommendations recently. Okay, you ready for this? The first skill you want is Elemental Nova, and you want to take this in its fire form. First skill, Elemental Nova in its fire form. The second skill you want to take is Teleport, and you want to take this tree right here, which is going to give you a movement skill, and you're going to kill enemies at the same time, so you don't have to stop. And this is going to trigger 3 of those fire Elemental Novas. The third skill you want to take is Frost Claw, and you can take this in its fire form. You want those 3 as your fire. Now, if you are not a fan of Frost Claw, you can also take Fireball. That's a personal preference, but in my opinion, Frost Claw is stronger at the beginning, okay? So Teleport, Elemental Nova, and then either Fireball or Frost Claw, your choice. You also want to put Unspect Flame Ward on your bar. That way you get a little bit of survivability if you need it. And those 3 skills will get you all the way to Endgame because you're going to use them in conjunction with a Fire Starter's Torch. This item you are looking at on screen right now, you can use it at level 1. It's very, very broken. In conjunction, you can use this with Prism Wraps at level 5, which also works perfectly with your Calamity Helm you can use at level 7. Those 3 skills with these 3 items will literally get you through the entire campaign. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. Again, congratulations, Stefan, the winner of the Action RPG Community Build Contest. 27 submissions, and I like yours the best. Now, honorable mention to Feeling Weller, the community member that submitted to me a Runemaster that has elemental beads. It was really, really close, so I felt like I had to give you that credit at the end of this video. 2 asks at the end. Ask number 1, I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. I'm hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that little red button. I would really appreciate it, but of course, only if you think I have earned it. Ask number 2, check out my Patreon. Thank you to the first 86 members that have signed up. Become an instant ARPG VIP and get Patreon exclusive content at the first link in the description. I get asked all the time, what's the best way to support? And Patreon is it, and you get the most benefits, and you have access to my new blooper reel video, which are going to be coming soon. That's all I've got. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.